What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rad and Dad YouTube channel. Welcome if it's your first time. Either way, very glad to have you. You know the deal. We're going to get the intro in a few seconds, but first I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. We are doing a new exhaust. Roll that intro.
Rad and Dad YouTube channel. It's the Rad and Dad YouTube channel. It's the Rad and Dad YouTube channel. It's the Rad and Dad.
All right, so I got my gloves on. I got my shop towels, and I got my mystery black package. It's the exhaust time. So, astute eyes might realize that currently there is no exhaust on this bike, and you would be correct. There is no exhaust on this bike. Why? Why, you might ask? Well, that tells me you're not tuning in to the Ride and Dead YouTube channel because that exhaust is off because we just switched from the stock Harley brand mid-controls to these beautiful, sensual TC Bros forward controls. That's why, folks. You should know that already. We took the exhaust off because you have to take the exhaust off when you do this. So went ahead and did that, took the exhaust off. Obviously, there's no reason for me to put it back on for half a day to do this. That's why. So this, as you saw with the intro, this is the install video of the exhaust. I went with a Vance Hines straight shots, ordered from Tucker Speed. I was going to put the Tucker Speed shirt on, but I completely forgot to do that. Tucker Speed, they were having a crazy good Black Friday sale, but obviously you're going to be watching this after Black Friday is well and done, which means you have to just use the plain old, which is still a great coupon code, Ride and Dad coupon code, 10%. Ride and Dad is the code. You get 10% off pretty much everything in the shop, including these. There are a bunch of different exhausts, obviously, that you can get for a Sportster. I definitely wanted a 2x2. It's been a long time since I've had any kind of 2x2 exhaust on any kind of bike, and it was just something that I was in the mood to do on this specific setup. Hopefully you didn't see my address. I'll have to blur that out if you didn't. What I will say about this exhaust is some exhausts will come with new exhaust gaskets, some will not. This one did not, so I got some Cometics tapered. These are the tapered gaskets. They do make tapered and they make straight. I've used straight and tapered in the past. I really do like straight. However, for this setup, I was recommended to use taper. Tapered is probably what the vast majority of the exhaust you're ever gonna get are gonna be. So obviously you have to take the old exhaust off to do this. You have to take the old gaskets out of the cylinder holes where the flanges meet up with the cylinders. So you're gonna have to take both of those off. Before I forget to say it, yes, you should get a tuner, especially for this bike. It's a little different than the new Softails, new M8 platform in general. Yes, you should have a tuner, especially when you're going from such a different style pipe that I am, and I'm going to be doing a new air cleaner in the future as well. I do have a tuner. It's already ordered. It should actually be here in about 1 or 2 days from when I filmed this video. For you guys, it should be the next video in the series. Maybe here or there, it'll get lost in, you know, a couple different videos or whatever, but yes, I have a tuner. Yes, it's coming. So it might sound a little bit different after we do the final sound comparison. And yes, I remembered to grab a sound clip of the old exhaust. We'll do that, you know, kind of before and after in a few minutes as well. I'm wearing gloves because I didn't want to get any of my grease. I wanted to make cleaning the pipes as easy as possible, and I didn't want to get all the anti-seize over my hands and then on pipes as well. So obviously you got to take the new exhaust off. I went ahead and put the new, or the old exhaust off, went ahead and put the new bracket from Vance Hines. Actually, let me just show you guys how cool these pipes are. This is a very classic, kind of tried and true, old school 2x2 straight out the back style pipe, and I think it's really going to sound great on this Evo engine, and I think it's really going to look killer as well. Let me go ahead and grab this so I can explain this next. Okay, let me grab the other one that I didn't drop so I can explain this next portion. These are Baffles. Stock comes with Baffles in there. I took them out because I want that kind of classic, just straight pipe sound from this Evo. I think that'll really do this bike justice with the aesthetic that I'm going for with it, and I don't care about performance as much. The tune I have written from Fuel Moto is going to be written for this, and eventually I will get it dyno tuned as well. But these exhaust Baffles are super easy to take in and out. You basically just slide it in the end of the pipe, and there's this single bolt that you just take on or take off or put on to keep the baffle in place. I went ahead and took them out now because I know I'm not going to get into the sound comparison with the baffles without. It's just a lot of work for me. And I know most people that are going to run this pipe are either going to run it with 0 baffles at all, or they're going to get the quiet baffles that Vance Hines sells as well to, from what I read, help with performance a little bit as well as quiet down the sound. We don't care about either of those on this build. So I already took those out. I obviously did already switch the flanges, switched the O2 sensors. I do have some pictures of that. It's super easy to do. I've shown this on a ton of exhaust videos, and there's just a million videos showing this, so I really didn't feel like it was necessary to bog this video down with that as much. So basically, you just pop the old ones off, put them on, O2 sensors, unscrew. It doesn't matter if you do front or back as long as you plug them in the correct way, which it's impossible to plug the front one into the back one depending on how your pipe, like it's impossible to do it unless you solder and do connection. It's ridiculous. So we're about to do that. I'm going to clean up off camera. I'm going to clean up the holes in the cylinders, just a little bit with some alcohol and a shop towel, and then I'm going to put some anti-seize. It's very important you put anti-seize on everything with exhaust. Don't use thread locker, red, blue, orange, whatever. Don't use thread locker. Use anti-seize on everything. The reason is that it gets super hot. So one, your Loctite thread locker is going to be burned off anyway, so it's going to melt or burn off. It's not going to matter whether you have it on or not. It's not going to do what its intended purpose is. And then 2, exhaust components get so hot that it basically heat welds itself sometimes to stuff. So you definitely want to make sure you use anti-seize for everything. Anti-seize for the O2s, anti-seize for the rear part of where the exhaust pipes are going to get mounted onto this bracket, and definitely anti-seize. Definitely, if you only put it on one thing, definitely put it on this. Anti-seize on the flange bolts. You definitely want that. Now my flanges are in terrible shape. They're fairly rusted. The bolts, as you can hopefully see from this, I mean, this is just 3 out of 4. They're rusted as well. Now, if I were to do this all over again, I probably should have ordered some new bolts and some new flanges, but I didn't. You're not going to see it, so it's whatever. In the future, I can change them out fairly easy. It's not going to be that big of a deal. I think I've blabbed as much as I can. Oh, the heat shields, you're supposed to put them on first. So I did take some pictures of what I did, as well as some pictures, I'll post that up now, of the mounting points for this bracket. Basically, you're going to take this cover off for the pulley. It's your front sprocket, pulley, whatever I've heard it called, several different things. Take that off. It's going to mount with 2 screws, bolts, 2 bolts in the front, 1 bolt in the rear, and then you put this cover in, or actually, yeah, you put this cover in, and then you bolt the bottom bolt of this cover runs through this bracket as well. As far as everything else goes, we'll talk about that as I install it. The heat shields, you just have to undo the words are escaping me right now, but the metal band that you tighten, I cannot think of what it's called for some reason, but you basically undo that completely, thread it through the pockets in the heat shield, slip the pipe into it, and the pipes can only fit each, like they're different lengths, so they can only fit different heat shields or different size, or different, specs as well, as far as like where the bends and how big they are. So you basically do those, slide the pipe in, tighten those up. It's super easy to fit this. Sometimes the heat shields move and stuff like that, but these don't. They basically, because of how the pipes are, it locks in really nice. So far, this is some of the nicest or easiest heat shields I've ever had the pleasure of installing on pipes, which is really nice. I went with Vance Hines. 1, the price was crazy cheap. This kit was under $500, this exhaust system. 2, this one had the removable and interchangeable baffles, which is nice that I can do whatever I want in the future with this bike as far as that, make it quieter, louder, better performing, whatever. And then 3, Vance Hines has a very good chrome finish. They've always been known for one of the better chrome finishes, not necessarily the blacks. The black finishes are, in my experience, kind of mid-ground. They're not the best, but they're definitely not the worst, TBR. But chrome finish from Vance Hines has always been really good, and I definitely wanted to keep chrome. I didn't want to do just a polished stainless because I wanted it to be that show chrome all the time. So I will move you guys a little bit closer. Let's start installing this. Basically, we're going to, once the new gaskets are in, you're just going to push the new gaskets in there, and they are, make sure that I show you guys up close, they are tapered. So you can see that this side is kind of thin width, and this side is thicker. That means it tapers. So the thick part is going to go into the cylinder, and then you're going to pressure fit the exhaust there. We're going to lightly snug up the bolts in the front, bolts in the rear, lightly do it. We're actually going to do it step by step. So we're going to do the bottom pipe first because that's going to be the easiest to get to. And then we're going to do the top pipe because where they mount on the bracket, that's how it makes sense to do it. We're going to do bottom, which is front, first, and then top, which is rear cylinder, second. So let's go ahead and do it, man. I'm super excited to listen to this bike. I am super excited. Let's start it. Let's go. All right, so we're all done. I don't know about you guys, but I think that sounds fantastic. That is that old school Harley sound. Put some different cams in here. Yes, cams, there's 4 in the Evo engines. Put some different cams in here, and that is gonna sound amazing. Don't forget, if you're doing a new exhaust, don't forget to plug your O2 sensors back into the electric ports once they're plugged into, screwed into the exhaust. And also don't forget to, after like 200 to 300 miles, maybe more, maybe less, depending on, your mileage may vary, make sure you snug everything down again, flange bolts and the mounts on, the end of your exhaust. Just make sure you snug everything down again, because they have a tendency, especially the flange bolts, mostly the flange bolts, because that gasket seats, but every once in a while you're doing it, you might as well check the bolts at the end as well, on your mounting bracket. Let me know what you guys think. I think that sounds amazing. It is by far not the best Harley I've sound. Best Harley I've sound is like some old knuckleheads or some panheads. Actually, I prefer the knuckleheads over the panheads. But either way, not the best one I've heard, but it is definitely on the top. You can't beat the way these Evo engines sound for a modern kind of day Harley. It sounds awesome. Without the baffles, this thing is really loud, which is perfect for the bike that I'm trying to do. Actually, while filming, UPS delivered my tuner, so look forward to that video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel, the Riding Dad YouTube channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications. Please like this video. It really would help me out a ton. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this exhaust. Honestly, I think it is a night and day difference for sound. It is awesome. I think it sounds great. Mwah. Chef's kiss. See you guys on the next one. Let me know anything you want to know, questions, whatever, Instagram, TikTok, everything. The link for this exhaust specifically, including the coupon code, going to be in the description. Like always, and until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun. Dad out.